Welcome to the Jordan Lang Podcast. This is a space where we will have conversations on all of the things like business, wellness, motherhood, social activism, and lots more. Come prepared with an openness to learn, grow, and expand yourself just a little bit further with each topic we discuss. Thank you for joining us today. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to the Jordan Lang Podcast. I am your host, Jordan Lang, and I am excited for us to dive into episode 1. This is going to be the start of the first season of the podcast, and we're diving right in with episode 1. So I am excited to chat about this. What I want to do in this episode is give an overview of what to expect this season. What are we going to be diving into? What is the focus going to be? Because within each season, I really want to focus on something specific, a specific topic or overall area of focus that I really think needs to be addressed. The subtopics within it are things I personally want to learn about and things I know others really want to learn about or need to learn about. As a sort of funny aside, I guess, you may hear my children in the background from time to time, especially on this episode, as my girls just got out of school and my son needs to get some energy out too. So they're all playing with one another. I've asked them to be as quiet as they can be, but if you hear shouting or squealing in the background, no worries. It is just my children. And I'm currently recording this February 2021 in the middle of still the COVID pandemic. So please bear with me as we move through this together, giving ourselves as much grace as we possibly can, right? All right, so diving into season 1, we are going to be focusing first on emotional and mental wellness. So this first season, the next several episodes are going to be devoted to different aspects of taking care of our emotional and mental wellness. We are often told, or you, depending on the circles you run or the networks that you have, you may have heard the inner creates. And what this means is that whatever you have going on inside, whatever you're experiencing inside, that is then reflected outwardly in your outer experience. So the things you experience inwards are then expressed outwardly. I quite often hear the phrase fake it till you make it. That's a more common one, I feel, than inner creates the outer. But I feel like fake it till you make it only takes us so far. If we have a bunch of shit inside that we have not dealt with or we're not really even aware of, and we shift into this, I'm just going to fake it till I make it type of mindset, but we haven't dealt with our inner shit, it's only going to take us so far, right? We're going to constantly be hitting roadblocks or it's experiencing hardships because we're trying to fake it and we haven't dealt with the things that we need to deal with. So, for example, years and years ago, I was a part of an MLM. I was actually with them for about 7 years. And I often told myself, I'm just going to fake it till I make it. I'm going to, and that was taught to us through our upline and everything else. Fake it till you make it, act as if you already have it, which absolutely, law of attraction, I totally believe in that. Totally believe in that. However, I had a lot of inner things that I had not worked through. Money mindset, scarcity mindset, feeling not enough. Those are just the three right off the top of my head, but I have even more that I'm still continuing to work through. Acting as if didn't work for me. Faking it till I make it didn't work for me because there were things inside my emotional and mental health and wellness that needed to be addressed before I could see success. And that's something that I've personally learned over my time as a VA, then shifting into online business management work and the teaching and things that I do now, is that I have to do the work within in order to be able to then see that outward growth. That doesn't mean that you are never going to see outward growth if you don't do the inner stuff, but you're going to constantly come up against the same struggles, the same issues, the same roadblocks until you deal with whatever things within that are causing you pain, are causing you struggles. And so that's what I really want to focus on with this first season of emotional and mental wellness. So a bit of a background for me. I grew up within evangelical Christianity. Feelings such as anger, fear, and quote unquote selfishness were considered bad emotions, bad feelings. You wanted to stay away from those things. Feelings such as joy, happiness, quote unquote unselfishness were good emotions to have. You wanted to feel those things. Growing up, I had depression pretty much I don't know necessarily my entire life, but I really began to experience it when I was around 5th grade, 6th grade. So, that's my daughter's age now. So 11, 12 years old. And as I got older, things just became more and more real in that sense. Suicidal ideation. I never acted out on anything, but it was still there. But I wasn't able to receive the support that I needed because, again, depression is a bad emotion. It's a bad feeling to have. I'm not going to get into all of the toxic theology and toxic teachings. That's a story for a different day. But basically just want to share, I wasn't able to receive support that I needed until now as an adult. I'm noticing a lot of the shit that is coming up for me or has come up for me. These are all repeated patterns and repeated circumstances and things that I've literally been experiencing for 20 years. So almost 20 years. Can I math? Okay, yeah, 20 years. I'm 35. So as I began to step away from those things and began to focus on healing myself from the inside out, I began learning to love myself fully, completely, wholly. Wholly me. I'm perfect exactly the way that I am. And there's nothing wrong with me, right? But I didn't learn that until I began focusing on my emotional and mental well-being. And I began feeling all of the feelings and not dismissing any bad, quote unquote, feelings, right? There are no bad feelings. There are no bad emotions. There's not. And I began to receive the support that I so desperately needed, and to know that I'm not broken. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. So I really feel like focusing on emotional and mental wellness as a base for this podcast starting off, I really, really wanted to dive deeply into this because the inner creates the outer. And when I was putting my list of topics and folks I wanted to chat with together, I really felt the pull and the draw to touch on this first before we go into any other topic or area or focus, because in order for us to truly make a positive impact on the collective, on the world, with others, we have to first take care of ourselves and make sure that we're getting what we need. And it's not selfish to take care of yourself. It's not selfish to make sure that your needs are met first. And I'm speaking to myself on this too. I mean, I was in a pretty low place last night, and I was just sharing with my husband how there's so many things going on in the world right now, so many things I desperately want to help with. And so there's this element of guilt and of shame that I'm not able to do that, but I have to focus on my mental health and my emotional health right now, because some days it's all I can do just to make sure that I'm taking care of my kids. And that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with me. That doesn't mean that I don't care about what's going on in the world. It just, we have to take care of ourselves in order to be able to positively and effectively help care for others. So that's really what my hope is for this first season, that it will allow you to feel seen, heard, loved, and supported. Because some of these topics you may have never either been exposed to, depending on your background, or really thought about, I guess, because we don't often allow ourselves to go down that path. I mean, a lot of times the focus is on physical wellness, right? Are you eating the right way? Are you physically active? Are you like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Physical wellness is great. It's needed. But I really feel like we often gloss over emotional and mental wellness. And I really feel like this is a great place to begin. So moving forward in this first season, please know none of the episodes and topics are meant to diagnose or take the place of a medical professional. None of that is what this podcast is about, and especially not in this first season. Please seek help and support if you need it. There's no shame in asking for help or in seeking that support if you need it. I will be providing content and trigger warnings where needed for each of the different episodes. So just know if we are going to be touching on a specific topic or area that does need a content warning or a trigger warning, it will be made available for you so that you can just be prepared for the topic that we are discussing. I really do feel like that's important. I really, really do, especially as somebody who has deconstructed from evangelical Christianity. I'm surprised at some of the things that trigger me when I never thought that it would. So I'm grateful for those posts that have included content warning or trigger warnings, just because we don't always know when it's going to happen. So it's important to have those there for us. All right, so that is an introduction into season 1 and the upcoming episodes that we will be focusing on. We're diving deep to start off. None of this fluff and kind of starting off gently and slowly. No, I want to dive right in to these really important topics. And I'm really, really excited for the guests that I'm going to be speaking with. Their knowledge is going to be so incredible. And I'm really, really excited and just honored to be able to speak with them and share the information with each of you. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your love and for your support. I am grateful for each of you listening and just for being here. Sending you lots and lots of love.